Hello and welcome to SAP Build Code, Getting Started course. Within this course, we will start with the basic understanding of what is SAP Build Code, which is actually SAP BAS with Joule and other AI capabilities. First, we will understand it in a theoretical angle, the architecture, how the apps are put, what is SAP Build Suite, and once we have a certain degree of basic understanding, we will start with the hands-on. We will set up the SAP Build Suite in our SAP BTP free trial instance. Then we will create a basic supplier management app without defining any technical details. Then we will use the storyboard and the page map capability of SAP Build Code. And within this SAP Build Code, we are going to do certain customization based on our need without touching any piece of code. Now, overall, this is a getting started course on SAP Build Code, which is formerly SAP BAS. Join this course to get started with SAP Build Code. My name is Ajay Nayak, and I will see you in this course. Hello and welcome to SAP BAS with Joule course. Now, this will be a short course where we are going to first understand the why aspect, why Joule is introduced into SAP BAS. So this two things we will try to understand first. Now, the name of SAP BAS is also changed with the addition of the Joules and the other AI tool as SAP Build Code. So this is just the change of the name with the addition of the AI feature of SAP Joule and other AI features, which we will see in a moment what they are. Now, the main thing why it is introduced in SAP BAS is to speed up the development and the customization capability of application development, and need to create apps faster within SAP BAS instance. Now, you can call it SAP BAS or you can call it SAP Build Code. I will refer to this as SAP BAS because we are already familiar with that application or the service inside SAP BTP as SAP BAS. So it will be much easier for us to refer that way. Now, before actually we start with the architecture, what are the other aspect or why if we talk about? Now, Joule is basically a AI assistant, you will say, and this assistant is going to provide you the natural language processing prompt. So the user is going to interact with the Joule with the natural language processing or with a normal English language, and it's going to respond or create artifacts or customize artifacts in the technical landscape of SAP BAS. So that is the first advantage of SAP Joule. It is basically a AI assistant inbuilt inside your SAP BAS or Build Code. Within the SAP BAS, now you can say your Build Code equal to SAP BAS plus Joule and other AI capabilities. Now, within this AI capabilities, you are also going to find features like your storyboarding, and you have the features of your page map. So these are the new features which are added within the SAP BAS instance so that you can not interact with the code and you can directly interact with the SAP BAS UI interface, and a developer with less technical knowledge or a functional user can also create and customize applications. So these are two things which we will see also in the hands-on, how the storyboarding and the page map actually works. And the Joule is basically a AI assistant, and you can interact with it with the natural language. So overall, what is happening here is that you have your SAP BAS instance, and within the SAP BAS instance, you will see many add-on features of SAP Joule and other storyboarding and page map application to make the app development faster. So that is the whole story. So now if we look into the architecture of it, actually how everything is put in place. Now there's also a new concept called Build Suite. So we will also see what this Build Suite is, how it is actually put in place in your SAP BTP landscape. So we will also see what this build suite is, how it is actually put in place in your SAP BTP landscape, and why and how it actually fits in the picture. So if we see the overall architecture, what you have is your SAP BaaS services within your SAP BTP account, which is your service account in the cloud. You can create an instance of your BaaS, which is basically an integrated development environment. And now with SAP Joule, this combination and the other AI tool is called Build Code. So this is what we saw in the last section. Now, with the help of this SAP Build Code, which is your SAP BaaS, you create a full stack application without writing a single line of code. You can prompt to your Joule what you want to create application on or about, and it creates a full stack application boilerplate. Now, this is not a wizard, what we have seen in the last BaaS versions, that you have a navigation wizard and then you create a full-fledged application where the wizard is going to take data from the service and it's going to create a UI or starting a UI for you to work on it. But this is more than the wizard. It actually provides you a full stack application with the custom commands or prompts what you provide in a natural language, which is your English language. And it is basically using internally AI, or in the backend it creates the AI. So once you have the full stack application with you, then you can take this backend services, and this backend services can be consumed in a UI. Now with the Joule, when you interact with SAP BaaS, then it is going to create a application which is out of the box working. So you have this application which is going to work in your web or your desktop environment, and it is going to function. It also will provide you some sample data with it, and once you have this application, you can test it, you can deploy it, you can work with it, and you can connect this backend services to your front-end UI. Now here comes the functionality of SAP Build Suite. Now within SAP Build Suite, you can take this backend services and you can create a complicated UI of the app without writing any single line of code using SAP Build App. Now, what is SAP Build App? So let's try to discuss this first. So within the SAP Build App, you have a layout. So if I zoom in here, then you will see that here, if you go into SAP Build App, you will see there are some pages, or these are the screens. So you can add more pages or you can remove pages, and this is how the user is going to navigate within the application. And you can go inside any particular screen. You can basically create all the changes of how the UI of the app will function within a drag and drop interface. So here you can see that this is the customization screen. In the left hand side, you have all your components. So these are the standard components which is provided by the SAP UI5 library. You have the components. You will drag and place this component on your screen. You can add properties or functionality to that component also with a drag and drop editor. You can do all these things without writing single line of code. So that is the advantage of Build App. You can create complicated application based on what your functionality is or requirement is without writing any single line of code. And you can not only create this application, but you can also deploy this application, and you can deploy this in the web or mobile based on what you want the functionality to be there provided to your user. So this is the first product, or you can say the first feature within the SAP Build Suite, which is your SAP Build App. Now SAP Build Suite is basically combination of more than one or more services. So you can say these are the services which are provided or bundled together and passed on to the user for them to use it. So it comes with the SAP Build App. This is the one thing which we saw. Then there's also the SAP Build Process Automation. So if we see what is actually SAP Build Process Automation, this is actually a creation of the workflow in your BTP. And here the same thing again applies. You don't have to do a lot of coding to create the workflow. You can drag and drop. So you have all the components, and these components can be dragged and arranged together. And you have here within the workflow screen a lot of components which are arranged as of your business requirement. So this is going to again map a business process into software, and you can create workflows. You can combine together multiple conditions and your business rules and decision making. So these are all which is pre-packed inside this workflow editor, and you don't have to write coding to be able to do that. So in the previous BTP courses also, you might have seen that you had SAP Cloud Platform Workflow. This is basically an advanced version of the SAP Cloud Platform Workflow with the features of inbuilt BRF functionalities, where you don't have to write code, but you can still implement the BRF functionality, which is the business rules framework functionalities, where you can create rules within the workflow and you don't have to do any coding, but just with the UI drag and drop components. And also it has the capability to do certain connectivity to your SAP systems like your S4 HANA systems or your SuccessFactors system or other cloud platform. You can connect with them, you can get data directly within your workflow, and you can, based on that data, create a scenario based on your need. So all that thing can be done here quickly and faster within the Build Process Automation. Now it also has some of the new functionality, like you can take the scanning of the document. So you provide certain images to it, and it can automatically scan those documents with the help of the AI. And once the AI will scan it, it will extract the text out of it, and then it is going to, based on the text, do certain decision or take certain action. So those advanced AI capabilities also you will find within the new Build Process Automation. So in a nutshell, your SAP Build Process Automation, BPA for short, is a advanced form of your SAP Cloud Platform workflow with a new enhanced feature of BRF connectivity and other related AI tools. Now also the advantage of this BPA is to provide user, which are maybe non-technical, capability to create the workflow which they can themselves create without the help of technical person involvement or with less technical person involvement, and automatically create all the workflow essential for the business need. So that is again a advantage where we have a layer of abstraction so that the user don't have to get worried in dealing with your development code, and they can easily use a UI to create business process. Now the third important service within your SAP Build Suite is your SAP Build Work Zone. So SAP Build Work Zone is basically a launch pad where you will be deploying your application. So SAP Build Work Zone is basically a launch pad where you will be deploying your application, and it also has capability to categorize multiple application into different category. So there can be category of development, or based on your organization how you want to categorize application. So overall you can say this is basically Fury Launchpad in your SAP BTP environment. And we also have a separate course of SAP Build Work Zone. You can check that course to see the details of it. Within this section, if you see the architecture, you can say that if your application is finally ready, you will be deploying your application within your SAP Build Work Zone and host your application within the SAP Build Work Zone environment, and your user will be consuming directly from the application which is hosted in SAP Build Work Zone. Application will sit inside your SAP BTP environment, but the SAP Build Work Zone provides a interface to manage that hosted environment. It also automatically has the capability of role handling or the role collections, which we have also covered in SAP Build Work Zone course. So overall, what you can see here is SAP Build Suite is a combination of multiple services like your SAP Build App, your SAP Build Process Automation, SAP Build Work Zone, and now the BAS is also called as SAP Build Code. So this new services are all bundled together and put in a packaged, and this package is called SAP Build Suite. So this is what currently is what users are primarily using in your SAP BTP environment. So we will see in our hands-on how to create this free trial services. So if you have a free trial instance of your SAP BTP, then within this free trial instance, you will be able to set up your SAP Build Suite, and you can set up the instance of these services and you can test them out or try them out. Mostly you will be able to try your SAP Build Code, which is your BAS, and your Build Work Zone. So within the trial instance at this point, we are not able to access the SAP Build App and Build Process Automation. Only this is limited based on what you can do with the Build App and Build Process Automation. These are provided within the free trial with limited feature. Now, if you see or compare the new and old, so the first thing is the name here is Build Code. So they are calling it Build Code, and here the old version of SAP BAS was SAP BAS. So the BAS was an acronym for SAP Business Application Studio. So this was the acronym for SAP BAS, and within the new version of SAP BAS, which is SAP Build Code, you have the feature of the AI chat, which can talk in natural language, which is English, and can create application out of the box, and this will be a full stack application with just prompts. Now within the SAP BAS, which was the previous version of SAP Build Code, you had a wizard and it was having a navigational style where you have multiple screen and multiple boilerplate code generation. Now within your SAP Build Code also, you might not need any technical knowledge to be able to create or debug or deploy application. You can do multiple things here without the knowledge, without the technical knowledge required, or you can say the coding knowledge required. But in the case of your BAS, you required to have the technical knowledge or skills. You need to have the technical knowledge to be able to work with application, to work with different files which are provided within your app and how they all function together or work together. So all this you will need. The interface is same in both the case. So this is one the similarity. And if you want to use the SAP Build Code as you are using your BAS, then you can do it, but you basically have the capability of Joule. It will be much easier to use SAP Joule, which can create out of the box application, debug them, or help you with the development cycle. So this will be an upgrade with the Joule capabilities and other AI capabilities to SAP BAS to become SAP Build Code. So this is the overall, in nutshell, we can summarize. We can say that. Now within the hands-on, what we will do is we will first set up our SAP Build Suite, whatever we have. We basically will start with a free trial instance. So you can create your SAP BTP free trial instance, and once you have the SAP BTP free trial instance, we will be setting up all the environment with your boosters. And once we set up this environments, we will go into our SAP Build Code, which is BAS, and we will use the Joule to create our app. And we are going to take the prompt, and this prompt is going to be in English language. And once we provide the prompt, we will be basically have a full stack application with the backend. And what I mean by the backend is basically your schema, and then the service which is exposed out of that schema, and then basic UI of the application. So this will be a full CAPM based application which will be generated in your SAP Build Code, which is BAS. So this is what we will have, and then we can further use the storyboard and the page map to customize the capability of the application or enhance the application so that we can change the application based on our need. So this is what all hands-on section will have. And in summary, what you can say that we will first set up the system, then we will get started with the hands-on, and we will do final wrap up. So I hope that this section provided you a basic idea of what we are working on, how the architecture is designed, and how each individual component of SAP Build Suite are put. So this will be a getting started course. We are not going to go and create complicated applications. We are just going to get started with your BAS instance, which is SAP Build Code with the improvements. And we are going to see all that for a getting started course. So we are going to see all that in our hands-on section. So let's go to our hands-on section to see how it is done.